Hello everyone, Om Shanti. Welcome to your next normal, your pause, your being refueled, your opening up, your deeper understanding of your purpose here, your moment to really reconnect to the real part of you. It is your self-love. It is your sustenance in the early morning if you're on the East Coast in the US or in some other country around the world. It could be your bedtime moment. I'm your host, Sister Jenna, and it's always my purest feelings inside that you're doing okay. We're going to go through different phases of our lives. Situations will come to test your inner brand of who you are or who you think you are. Whether it's through finance, whether it's through health, or many times through relationships and sometimes with all three. And then you don't think the way you really want to think. You start to think based on what's not going right on the outside. I was speaking to a friend yesterday, Jay, and he and I went into an intriguing conversation. And what emerged from the conversation is our topic today about the branding that we choose. But what is our brand, and why do we even choose certain brands outside of us? Now, there are many ways that we can look into this topic, many ways. I mean, we all as an individual, we carry our own brand as a person, right? Our gender, maybe our religion is a brand. The way I dress shows some kind of a weird branding. The way that we carry ourselves. So what is the person, who is the person behind that? You know, why do we choose certain clothes, certain shoes, certain watch? What has become our belief system regarding our investment in these areas? And if you look at the world right now, it is so governed by logos and brands that somehow gets stuck in your subconscious, that without you even knowing, you will go to a shop and look for that particular item or clothes or food. I was remembering a time when I'd started to become a vegetarian, and I'm just not into garlic or onions. I never was much before, but even more so when my consciousness opened up about the food that I put into my system and how I eat and what consciousness. But there used to be a ketchup brand, and that ketchup had no onions or garlic. And so we just used to get it. And then one time when we got it, we tasted a little bit different. We didn't look at the label because we were so used to getting that ketchup over and over again. And when we actually looked at the label, something had changed. They started to add garlic and onions to the ketchup. And we were like, oh, that makes me not feel good. I know there was something wrong. And as a result of that, we never bought that brand of ketchup again. Isn't that an interesting, true story? Sometimes I wonder, what if we learned about the motives and the intentions behind many of the brands that we are investing in? I personally know individuals who will buy or purchase a handbag for $2,000-$3,000, but they're not able to pay their mortgage or their rent. What governs them to do that? What governs somebody to spend thousands of dollars on a handbag, which they will have on their arm, and go around and show the logo or the brand to people? For what purpose? But they're not able to pay their mortgage. There are many people like that, actually. What is it that it touches in the soul? So like I was thinking of it, and as Jay and I were speaking, I thought about it afterwards more and more, that a lot of times when we make our decisions that are based on the intent to show somebody my value and worth, it is not true. It's not the real you. Your worth and your value cannot be proven because of a bag that you've purchased for $2,000-$3,000 and you feel this is who you are and you need to show the world. I was reading a report years ago that majority of millionaires don't wear brand clothes. Of course, their suits and stuff when they go out is different, but they're very simple and laid-back people. Maybe because they've achieved a certain level of financial comfort that they don't need to prove to anyone. But perhaps for the individuals who are trying to prove themselves to others, they're in their Hugo Boss, or their Giorgio Armani's, or their Rolexes, or their Pradas, or whatever it is that is out there, their Hermes, their Coach, whatever it is, Ray-Ban glasses. I mean, I'm just trying to remember quite a lot of them. But it intrigues me as to the people or the industry behind these brands and what really is the motive and the purpose of creating these products that have gone so deep into the subconscious of people. Now, I look at, for example, the brand of Amazon, which is quite useful. I don't want to go into a department store with 1,000 people to look for something that I need. I can now just go online and click it and it comes to my door. What an incredible concept. And what a brand that has become. I don't believe anyone in the world does not know what Amazon represents. I know there are a lot of people in the world who don't know what a Hermes is, or a Coach, or Louis Vuitton. But there are certain brands that are very useful and helpful, and you wonder, what was the motive behind them? Amazon is, we bring your product to your door. We bring it right to your doorstep. But what does a Hermes scarf represent for you? What does a Coach bag represent for you? What does it mean? Who are you behind the brand of these products? And I'm wondering to myself, have you investigated that as to why is that important for you? When really who you are behind the brand should be some really profoundly divine, beautiful spirit with or without the brand. I'm just asking you to give it thought. Majority of the things that we might purchase $200, $300, $500 for is made in countries outside of the USA by individuals who are in very, very challenging economic situations. And they work very, very hard for their small dollars. In a way, I'm glad that they have an opportunity, and I'm glad that they're able to make some way to at least put food on their table. But let's say, for example, the product cost $1. Let's just say, for example. And by the time it gets to, let's say, the US, maybe it costs $3. Just giving an example. And then by the time it gets on a shelf in a store, it's sold for $300. That's a massive profit. So what is the genesis behind the company that has built such a story and a narrative that has individuals saving up to maybe buy one of these products, 2 or 3, or to feel that all of these branding of products and clothes and items reveal they're rich or they're valuable or they've arrived in life. Perhaps the branding that we really are and that we seek is the branding of our divinity. Our own self-worth and self-value is not determined on the clothes or the bag that we wear, but it's on the thoughts that we think and the way that we think about ourselves and our beingness. If my thinking is based on how I need to project onto you, how you should view me and feel about me, I would maybe think that branding is deluding you. It is not the right branding because you cannot condition or make somebody believe in your worth. That is for you to do for you, not anyone else. And I wonder, how much money will you save to not invest in too much brand items? And then how much money would you give to charity that can help souls that are in need of food and shelter, moral or ethical upliftment? I'm not knocking down brands. I'm remembering in my early 20s, I don't think there was anything I wore that didn't have a brand or a logo or a designer name on it. And I remember that when I bought into it, I wanted you to see how much I was worth. But it didn't mean that I believed I was worthy or I had that level of self-worth. I created the facade. This is now in my early 20s. Because of the watch I had, the designer outfit that I wore, the shoes that I used to put on, the car that I drove. I remember my dad used to tell me, my nickname is Mitz, so they used to say, Mitz, if it has 4 wheels and it can get you from here to there, it's a car. And I would want like the best car. He was like, I don't care about the best car, just a reliable car. It gets you from point A to point B. And you will always have savings. If in case of an emergency, you'll be all right. I throw that out to you. In our thriving economy, especially in the United States, it is such a profound country. And anyone and anybody can come here and make something of themselves. And they will have to work hard. But in developing countries outside of the US, when they were at home in their living rooms watching television and this beautiful America, and they would say, I want to go here. Oh, I would love to be in America. Then they finally come, and it's incredible. But they didn't realize they had to work hard to match that brand or to even get a piece of the branding of what America stands for. I've spoken to a lot of people outside of this country, and they will tell me, you have to work so hard, it's not what I thought, it's... And I would tell them, yes, because back home you just sat on the couch, right? You weren't doing much back home, right? Sure. So when you come here and you realize you have to stand on your own 2 feet, isn't that amazing? That you find your capacity and your potential? Now that's a brand. Because your brand will match what you're becoming. I have become successful because of my hard work and labor. They're both truthful. But there are people who might come and they're going, I just can't believe I have to do this, I work hard. And by the time they get to whatever their imaging is, they complain, they'll criticize the country, they'll talk about how good their country is, but they don't want to go back there. Something's not connecting. So let's say companies that are pushing these ideologies on us. If you wear Cartier, you're sophisticated and you come from luxury. If you wear a Coach bag, then you also have arrived, or Prada shoes, or Ray-Ban glasses. And I've seen a Ray-Ban glass that costs $400 and an imitation one that has a name called maybe John Brown, And they both look the same. The John Brown one costs $3, $3.99. The Ray-Ban costs $399. And I've looked at both of them and I've asked, what's the difference? Over the UV and the this. I look at everything, but they both have the UV. They have UV protection. And what is the difference? What is the difference? I'm buying into a conditioning that if I wear a Ray-Ban, I have money. And if I don't wear a Ray-Ban, I don't have money. Now, the one who doesn't wear a Ray-Ban glasses, for example, has savings. The one who's wearing that is begging you for money. It's kind of confusing. We're buying into a game that's being played throughout time. And all I'm asking you to consider is to think wisely about your inner self-worth. Your brand is to be authentic, to be sincere, to be a child of God, to be generous and kind, and to be able to support individuals and people in your family where it might be needed. And what we're looking at is a culture of individuals who feel it's very important to show you who I am. Let me reveal to you who you are. I've been there. I know what it feels like. I was young once. And as I mature, I realize it's just an illusion. It's just an illusion. It's just an illusion. And whenever my intellect chooses to invest over and over again in illusion, I lose myself. And I never become the real brand I'm supposed to be. The way I dress, the makeup, the eyelash, the way I do my beard and this and that. Who influenced you? On many occasions, you just saw somebody else and it touched you. Like, who did you see that inspired you to look like that, dress like that, buy that? Right now, I would love to see the branding of purity on people, the brand of peace on people, the brand of love, that everything they do, the way they walk, the way they eat, it's a brand that I want to buy into. I don't mind spending thousands of dollars for a brand that invites me to be pure in my mind, to be peaceful in my heart, to be loving in my spirit, to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on that brand. Can you imagine how you would feel? Because you're in that state. And you deserve that. It's just a conversation. I'm not saying not to invest in these things. I'm just saying don't forget your inner branding of your worth and your value costs much more than products and things that are bankrupting you or making you beg for money from other people or making you fall on hard times where you can't pay your rent but you're driving a high-end vehicle or you're wearing an expensive watch. They don't come to your rescue, do they? So just don't fall into that commercialization of distracting you from your real sense of self and your real value as God's child. So let's just take a moment and reflect on this. That so much of who we think we are has to be projected for others to see us in a particular way. No. Some of the greatest people in history were introverts and simple thinkers before they became global. Is this what we need? Just more introspection. more interior truthfulness about who we really are as souls living this human experience? And can we come to the reality or the truthfulness that my divine ways, my peaceful and pure way, is the way? It is the brand that we need to start to invest in. We'll be able to pay our mortgage, our car insurance, our car payments, our credit cards, our food, can take care of our families if they need help. Because I'm taking care of my brand. My brand is to be peaceful and pure and loving and kind, so that when I go out in the world and you see me, like, oh, I want one of those. Oh, I want one of that. Oh, how can I get that? Where did you get that? So I want to just leave you with that food for thought and just hold a few moments of just reflection and silence, just for 1 minute. And just go inside of yourself. And just think about what I just shared with you. Are you ready to reveal your brand to the world? A peaceful, pure, and loving human being. That's our brand. All right, I have no idea if awakened intelligence will support anything that I just said today. It's a little bit of a different line, but Santosh, what does being awakened, or who are we as people behind the brands? So hear this, is a powerful and introspective question that delves into the identity, values, and motivations of the individual who create, shape, and represent a brand. It emphasizes the human element behind the corporate or business facade, highlighting that brands are not just logos or products, but reflections of the people who drive them. This question really encourages self-reflection, authenticity, and a deeper understanding of the personal stories, beliefs, and passions that influence how a brand gets perceived by the public. Would I like to explore this further? Of course, but I don't have any time. I find this such an intriguing question and would love to also go to our Sister Gita effect and just get some of her vibrations of her spiritual brand that takes us to love. Here is the Sister Gita effect.
The art of thinking. Thinking as an art. The word art sometimes implies a God-given gift, but regardless of its origin, a work of art usually has to be nurtured, developed, and refined by the artist. So too with the art of thinking. We all are blessed with the ability to create thoughts, that is, we can think. However, making the art of thinking powerful to enable ourselves to experience goodness and beauty in life and share that with others requires a process of training and discipline. I myself, the spiritual being, train and discipline my own mind, just as an art truly flourishes against the backdrop of a certain quality of culture, in the same way, the right company, atmosphere, and study are all necessary to develop my art of thinking. In the early days of this self-training to become the best me, it was very helpful to be able to share and connect with others who are engaged in a similar process in order to harness the necessary power. Later on, in this fascinating journey, I will probably be able to manage without the additional input from others, because by then, the internal power I have developed will enable me to understand any contradictory forces. Hence, I can welcome the best of me. Thank you.
Santosh was just reading out to me some of the comments on Facebook and YouTube, and it's very true. You know, the way that we project things, and why haven't we started to brand peace and purity and love and divinity? Why is that not saleable? Doesn't everybody want that in their lives at some point, rather than to keep marketing this illusion? I've arrived, look at me. People will look at you because of your spiritual brand. As a unique entity, for sure. It's needed. So thank you for that. Today's Abhiyak signal is: always keep your zeal and enthusiasm. You will claim victory. Do not get into the subconscious memory of being disheartened with yourselves, and experience any difficult challenge or task to be easy, that it's not a big deal, because at a soul level, you've done it many times. In reality, you are not doing anything new. You are simply repeating what you have done many times. By maintaining this awareness, you will be led to victory. Wow, that's a great one. I tell you, today's one of those good days, huh? Hi everyone, good morning. Life is Good is a great brand, Jackie says. Good vibes only. We're shifting into that kind of branding. Let's be sure that we support it. I love that, Jackie. Thank you. Asbestos, thank you. Money Mama, hello. Best Water Softener. What interesting names. Hi Seeds. Hi Jay. Our conversation yesterday struck this topic for me, and I could really take a lot of time in this, because our branding is people, you know, the real people. That I don't see. It is always deflecting you from your inner worth, your inner value, your inner dignity. I've seen people who have all of these name brand things at airports, really awfully mean person. And here I am at the airport in just my little sari and stuff, and I'm like, it's okay. It's going to be okay. We're going to get on the flight. Just don't give sorrow to anyone. It's going to be fine. Now that's a brand. I don't have a Louis Vuitton. I've got God's light, but I don't have a Louis Vuitton. So we have to think from here first. The quality of our personality now must become our brand for humanity. Kushali says the designer brands do not give peace or happiness after buying them, but the branding of peace, purity, and love makes me happier, not for a moment, but be careful most of the time, cause of, I guess, Baba or God. Hi again, Jay. I hope I did justice to our conversation today. And to Nasira also for your comment, and Cindy for also your comment. Thank you for that sharing. And maybe we can give it some more reflective thinking today. Lee, thank you so much. A very good topic indeed, very awake and conscious. So thank you for those ideas and thoughts for everyone out there. I think we're just moving through such a profound time that we're realizing that our character and our way of being has to be our brand now. That this is really who we are. And this is what we need to invest more in. This kind of a fashion. Thank you for joining us on The Next Normal. To reduce your attachments, which can complicate your interior story, just practice loving everybody the same. You'll become very liberated. Have a good day today.
Have you been feeling overwhelmed, stressed, out of balance lately? Do you crave for a pocket of peace and tranquility in your busy life, but you struggle to find the time or space? Then we have the perfect solution for you, Meditation on Wheels. It's an RV sanctuary traveling in the metropolitan Washington D.C. area, offering transformative meditation experiences. It's a movable oasis of calm at your doorstep. Book us today to come to your business, school, government space, or event. Why? We bring the calm to you. meditationonwheels.com